Oh, well, as generations and generations being enslaved by concepts from the North. Do you know how long we've been up under the rule of these people, man, and their concepts? You got to go backwards and peel everything off they ever gave you, man. Even when you connect Athens, Georgia, to Athens, Greek, Athens, Rome, Athens, Greek, Rome, Georgia, Athens. Universal. If you look up I remember I looked up the University of Higher Learning. The first one in the United States of America will be Georgia, Georgians, Georgia, and it's the same definition of Athens, Greece. University of Higher Learning. They run that shit right over here and built universities for their curriculum. So I just have to laugh. Because everybody ain't gonna get this shit, bro. You listening to and being educated, indoctrinated with education from the people that aren't chosen people. And you want to switch place with them people and be, oh yeah, I know God chose me. Yeah, he chose you. Yeah, you were born on the divine land. You don't have to go search for no land. You was born divine, born on divine land. The definition of earth is terrain, soil. And to this day, even though they spinning you all around on their finger like a Harlem Globetrotter, you still live at sea level. The properties of water never changed. Yeah, you can get water from clouds, precipitation, but what the property of water, the properties of H2O is going to always do the same thing, and the earth is always going to be the same thing. But you want to accept that you've been fooled. I hate to be tricked through. That's why I go so hard. I hate to be lied to. That's why I go so hard on this type shit. That's why I go so hard, because I know they tricking the world. You listen to some people that say they chosen. Chosen how? Why did God have to come promise you a land when you was born on one? He promised you a land. He put your ass right there where he needed you to be, if he put you there. Right there in that north, where he chose not to give you sunlight at. Where he chose not to give you light or life. Where did your life come from? I don't want to hear we created their ass or none. I don't. Fuck all that. It's just the point of you thinking that you're floating around in space with these people. These people ain't even in space. These people in the mountains trying to create some shit, and they, you know, you can create a lie and then make mathematical equations to fit whatever it is that you want it to be. This shit is sophistication. I showed y'all the definition of sophistication. The globe is a work of sophistication. Some shit that ain't even real that's made to be real through sophistication. And to make you believe it. They give you these definitions and tell you what they doing, you won't even listen to them. You won't decipher between this dumb shit. This shit crazy, man. I go to sleep and wake up, and I just be trying to figure out a way to reach somebody. I just be trying to, my job is to try to shake somebody. If I shake one or two people, I'm doing my job, bro. But that's what I'm gonna do till I leave this bitch, leave this truth here, man. These people are in elevated areas. They don't know the ocean look like or none of this shit. They have water basins. It just shows you the Arctic is a water basin. Even the Mediterranean, I just showed you, is a water basin. The true waters of the land is the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Ocean. Not the stands, but the lands. Three-tier cosmology. That's what our ancestors dealt with. That's what our ancestors dealt with, man. The earth was when they first started, they had the earth in the center of this bitch. Then they had to make it more complicated. Then they put the sun as the center, like they getting the sun some respect. Don't get the sun, let it be the center of the universe. That's a melanated universe, and the cosmology is working just fine. We know how to levitate stones and all kind of shit. We were supreme in our thoughts, man. As stone builders, mound builders, working with stones upon the earth. This shit is so motherfucking crazy. That's why, and as generations and generations move forward, you accept and adapt to the lies that these people put out here. That's why it's so important for people to really understand that you've been lied to. This is part of your enslavement. This is how they control. This is how the elite control the world, man. For thousands of years, the dominant scientific and philosophical view was the earth was stationary, flat, or fixed at ground zero. When are you gonna come back down to ground zero? Man, you is not in space. Yeah, you looking at luminaries, you looking at stars in the sky, you looking into the heavens. You can point a telescope straight out. If you gonna see something through the telescope. You got to point it straight up in the air. That don't make you be up in the motherfucking sky with that shit. You ain't in the heavens. You ain't in the heavens. You on earth. That statement alone ought to shake your lip. Nigga, you're not in heaven. You want to go to heaven. You're not in the heavens. You're not in the heavens, bro. You're on earth. The rest of the universe moved around it. This was based entirely on everyday human observation. When you look up, the ground feels perfectly still. And it is. While the sun, moon, and stars clearly move across the sky. And it does. And it does. The earliest recorded treated the earth. The earliest records treated the earth as a massive fixed floor, terrain. The earth is terrain. Mother Earth is the terrain, the soil, the womb that you feed and seed the womb, and she flourishes, harvests, and crops for you. Up out of the earth. Man, you niggas think, y'all niggas is crazy, bro. With a solid dome or perimeter above it. Who said that? Well, the luminary, sun, moon, and stars moved in tracks to provide day and night. The sun provide all that, bro. When the sun leaves, and then the light returns. The sun do all that, bro. You ain't up in the air spinning away from the sun. The way the sun travel tell you that you ain't up in the sky spinning away from the sun and spinning back into the sun. The sun travel, not you. The sun travel, not you. The sun is moving, not you. By the sun rising in the east and setting in the west, it should tell you that, goddamn it, you ain't moving. And that you're beneath the sun, bro. You're not in the sky with these motherfuckers, man. These motherfuckers in high altitude, now they gonna create some kind of bullshit. All this motherfucking globe talk, magnetic pole talk, all that shit come from people that are unchosen people. So they got to come up with a way to trick the world and become the world dominating elites by sophisticating through sophistication. The only way they can whoop you is through sophistication, which is a fucking lie. The only way they can whoop the truth is with a lie. And you're gonna let them whoop the truth with a lie? You just gonna not. Motherfuckers just don't have time to think. That's why I'm glad I was blessed with a little plug where I could just sit down and research this shit extensively like I wanted to make it make sense. A lot of people don't have time to even focus on this type of shit because they got the hustle and bustle in this global economy. They got to make it where you won't never have time to even think long enough to track their ass and say, oh, these bitches are lying to me and I'm living a lie. I'm on a monopoly board. I might as well choose the thimble, the iron, the car. I might just choose me a piece of get out of jail free card. This is monopoly, man. These people righteously is just playing with us, bro. This shit crazy. I just be tripping out this shit, man. Look, Ptolemaic system. Who are the Ptolemies? The Greeks. They came over into Egypt from the north, from the northwest, from out of the north. Even though they're trying to say west instead of northwest, they came out of the northwest. They're northerners. And that's why they got to make up a story about God promised them in the land. And the land he promised them still is in the north. So whatever y'all got going on in that north, man, y'all need to leave this land alone. Because this shit is ridiculous. The second Ptolemy, the astronomer Carlos Ptolemy, wrote that Almagest, the most definitive textbook on the geocentric model. He mapped out. See, geocentric, they had the earth in the middle at first. When they first stole the bitch up in the sky. When they first stole Mother Earth up into the sky. You gonna let these bitches take Mother Earth and throw her up in the motherfucking sky like an alley. And then change and say, okay, no, let put the sun in the center. So that means the earth, the sun ain't traveling when you know the sun travels from east to west. The sun travels from east to west. So how the fuck you moving? It's moving and all this. You got transipical forces, several transipical forces that don't work. You can have transipical forces working together in opposite directions at the same damn time, man. Man, y'all, this shit crazy. The stationary Earth concept is these models of Earth wasn't considered a planet floating in the vacuum. You know, vacuum, all this dumb ass shit. These folks ain't went to the moon. They never went to the moon. You still listening to them? They ain't went to the moon. That shit fake. That shit crazy, bro. Y'all gotta get back to the ancestors, man, and what's real. Real talk. Floating planet. Earth meant the soil. This is the original, the major change in the definition. Now, this is the original definition of Earth itself, from the ground under your feet to a ball in the goddamn sky. You let some people in the north that God and left out don't like anything come and tell you that your Mother Earth is a water ball. Water would never even create a ball. Water don't ball and falls. It would never create a ball. The elements of H2O would never create a ball, bro. Water gonna fall, run, seek containment. Once it seek containment and find containment, it rises and levels. You measure the height of water by the depth of it. What's holding it? The earth. The earth contains the water. What water? The oceans. The earth contains the oceans. You know how large the oceans is? So this ocean water don't ever form a ball. So what water is surrounding the oceans that ain't about that the oceans ain't balled up? So what other water they talking about that's balled up around us? Man, y'all crazy. In ancient cosmology, the earth meant soil, mountains, and oceans. Yeah, the oceans is on the earth, being contained by the earth. It was the physical center and the heavens were a completely different, lightweight material made of fire and light. Ain't no fire. The sun ain't fire. And light, the light came from up above. Yeah, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Up above the world so high. Up above the earth so high. Yeah, how I wonder where you are. Wonder how I'm wondering. They got you wondering about this shit. Ultimate wonderland. Wondering. Space is the ultimate wonderland. I should have got that definition. Space is nothing but wondering. Y'all going for their sophistication. They made these sophisticated ass lies, and every time you kiss one another, they create some more shit and give you some scientific facts to prove the shit. A scientific fact to support a motherfucking lie. The change in the definition as mathematical models advanced, astronomers stopped treating the Earth as a unique foundation terrain, then began classifying it as just another luminary. So why they can't show it to you? If it's just another luminary, why they can't show you the transition? Nigga, if I get up and walk from my motherfucking front door, if I can go to my front door, take a photo of my back door, I ought to be able to walk to my back door and take a picture of my front door. Why you say that? If I can take a picture of the moon from Earth, when I get to the moon, I should just be able to take a picture of the Earth from the moon with no Photoshop or none of this shit. I ain't got to Photoshop the moon, but when I get to the moon, I got to Photoshop the Earth. Man, y'all niggas crazy, bro. Why all the trickery? Turn the camera on and let us see a transition. You little trans so much. Let us see the transitioning of Mother Earth forming into this water ball that's just floating in the middle of nowhere. They got the whole world in wonder. This shit crazy. I started looking into Solarius. I just got it. I finna watch a movie. I don't watch a movie. Copernicus simplifies. Copernicus. You gotta watch some Copernicus. All them hoes. That's something serious. Cause Copernicus, that's the motherfuckers who wrote the New Testament. He wanted the goddamn Pizos. The Pizzo family, the one wrote a lot of this shit, man. People out of the north gave you all this shit. You gotta script everything they ever gave you off and start over. You really do. You gotta script everything they ever gave you all over. In real life. Straight up. Straight up. This thing so good. Here come Newton with the gravity, Sir Isaac Newton. The apple fell out the tree. The apple was ripe. The apple on the tree was ripe. It was time for it. Its weight caused it to fall out the tree. Ain't no fucking gravity, man. All this shit I'm just thumbing through this shit because this shit just weirdo shit. The original definition of Earth. The word Earth originates from the Old English word Europe and the photodramatic Erpel, which originally meant the ground, soil, dirt, or dry land. Land. You are on the land. They are in the mountains. You are on the land. The ocean waters are on the land. Historically, ancient people named the world after a literal substance beneath their feet because they did not yet conceptualize it as a floating planet in space. And you shouldn't conceptualize it as that today. Why would you goddamn go against the ancestors? They can't fuck with the minds of our ancestors, man. We cultivated the whole earth, bro. Even a little bit on their side. We ain't go too high up in those mountains, but we went in some of those deserts and created civilizations there. Using irrigation system of water. Wasn't no gravity. Talking about gravity-fed irrigation system. No gravity-fed irrigation system. Water gonna fall. Water gonna fall regardless, man. Gravity-fed man, get the fuck out of here, man. All this shit just crazy. All this shit just crazy. Just chilling. The original in classical antiquity, terror specifically referred to dry, solid surface of the world as opposed to the seas or the atmosphere. The evolution over time, terror evolved into a French word, terrain, describing a specific piece of land. The land, man. I'm just chilling. Just chilling. Or its physical geographical character. The terrain, the earth terrain. Yes, exactly. Sea level serves as the universal base reference point. Zero elevation. That's where you live. Even with all this science fiction shit they done put on your ass, you still right now today live at sea level. You measure the oceans in depth. You measure the height of the ocean in depth because it will always stop at your feet. You will always be able to step upon the water, even though your ass gonna go down in it, unless you got a boat or something to step onto. The water stop at your feet. That's sea level. That's surface level. You get it? I know y'all don't. Because you won't believe what they say. The chosen people. God had to choose you, man. God, you were born upon the divine, man. You was born divine. These people trying to find a way to talk you out of being divine and talk themselves into being divine with sophisticated ass lies. You're measuring height. Water is measuring depth from surface level. What's wrong with y'all, man? Oceans meet the dry terrain of the land, elevation where the surface of the world's oceans, which is 3, ain't no Arctic Ocean, it's a basin. The world 3 oceans, Pacific, Indian, and Atlantic. Those are 3 oceans of the world, of the earth. The rest of that shit they talking about is elevated lands in the north, mountains and deserts and caves and shit, with water basins and shit. What's wrong with y'all, man? Because the oceans are connected and find a uniform, what does it say, hydrostatic equilibrium, they provide the perfect baseline for measuring the height of mountains. The mountains. In the north, where God don't even like those people. The sun don't even give them no light. The sun, they can't even see a real horizon. The horizon comes from the horizontal line that the water shows when the water meets the sky, when the sun is going out of your view and setting on the ocean. You see the horizontal line that the water forms? That's sea level. That's where you at. That's why the ancients had a 3-tier cosmology. The heavens, the earth, and the underworld. And the underworld was when things disappear up under the horizon line. That's where you get your resurrections from. Things go under the horizon line and then it resurfaces in the heavens. You see? This ancient shit, they done took Mother Earth and alley-ooped her ass. A motherfucker out of Japan that throw the alley-oop to a cave beast with a water ball that'll never exist. And you niggas won't even catch up with this shit. That shit crazy. That shit crazy. It's crazy to me. I gotta get out of there for a while because it's starting to fuck with my sleep. I can only go so far. But I got to drop it. I get little shit like this, I got to come drop it, bro. I understand why it looks contradictory. Sea level isn't fixed, is a fixed ceiling for all water everywhere. It is just the average surface level in the open ocean. So what water are you talking about? The water basins that they tricking you with? The Mediterranean is in the mountain. It's a water basin. It's not part of the oceans. The Arctic Ocean is not an Arctic Ocean. It's a water basin. It get its water from the Atlantic Ocean. So that let you know that the Arctic Ocean ain't nothing but the Pacific Ocean. Ain't no water on top of the Arctic Ocean. Should be feeding everybody else. The Arctic Ocean should be the water that's feeding everybody else, according to your Rupus Negra and all that sophisticated ass bullshit that you talk about. It's 3 oceans, bitch, and the Arctic Ocean get its motherfucking water from the Atlantic. So it got to get its water from the Atlantic through the Pacific, because it's gonna hit the Pacific. Then the Pacific was hit the Arctic. Told y'all that earlier. That's why I'm gonna sandwich them. That's why I'm gonna sandwich them little islands in when I do feel like beaming in on that bitch ass shit. Water can absolutely exist above sea level. You see what I'm saying? Like a lake or a mountain or rain. Yeah, like a lake on a mountain. Water can exist above sea level, like a lake on a mountain, like a water basin. Or rain falling down out of the motherfucking sky. Simply because gravity traps. See, anytime they say gravity, you might just stop reading. Soon as they say water, I'll be out. Gravity, I'll be out of there. In a high elevation basin or atmospheric cycle before it drains back down to the ocean. How is it gonna drain? Cause water falls, bitch. Because water is the level. That's how you spell water from now on in your life. When somebody tell you to spell water, even if you get the answer wrong, you in school, they say spell water. Say L-E-V-E-L. L. Like 11. L even. Like 7. Even. Like they fuck the numbers up and not add the numeral 0. So now all the odd numbers are even and all the even numbers are odd because you're listening to them. And 7 and 11 telling yourself it's L even. Now they're odd numbers. Those are even numbers. Because the Romans forgot to add a 0 to their numeral. The numeral 0 is a numeral. Man, y'all don't stop listening to these ignorant people, man. Their perception hit right at how political power and map making have historically gone hand in hand. Those 3 massive oceans, the Atlantic, Pacific, and the Indian, do form an actual baseline where the vast majority of human lives and trades at sea level. Historically, the groups who control the charts defined the prime meridians and drew the global boundaries, and they wasn't fitting. They was fucking up. They try to draw meridian lines, and then they fucking up latitude and longitude. The shortest distance between 2 points. Man, y'all know what I'm trying to say, man. It's a straight line. Latitude and longitude are straight lines. They done been, if you bend your coordination, you're not gonna never get to your destination. All this shit is sophisticated tricks, man, by elite powers, and elite powers come out of the north. The people that God don't like, the people that don't get no sunshine. Yeah, water can exist over your head in a basin, up in the mountains. And once you get to the mountaintop, what you gonna do now? How you gonna get to the heavens now, Jacob Little? How Jacob gonna reach to the heavens now? We couldn't even do that. We just made step pyramids and stepped up on it and received more of that good melanated sunlight. And probably looking dead at the sun like I do, and looking dead at that melated disc inside that sun, and know that this God inside this sun do not like the north. And these people that took over your mind and got you wandering around in space while they just keep getting their important imports from you by all means necessary. Militaries and engineers use a flat stationary Earth model because it simplifies the map. I know it. I know they do. I know it simplifies things because you're sophisticating things. If the military is making their calculations about the Earth according to a flat stationary plane, why aren't you? No bridge has ever compensated. No long ass bridges have ever been compensated for a curve. No railroad tracks or none of that shit has ever compensated for a fucking curve on the earth. You got crevices, ditches that go under. You got mountains, valleys, but the earth at surface level is where we live. Y'all crazy as hell, bro. This shit crazy. Man, everybody trying to hear this shit crazy. This nigga him. Damn. Because the Mississippian culture did not leave a written language, their worldview is understood through their art, architecture, and oral traditions of their descendants like the Muskogee, Cherokee, and Choctaw. They viewed the universe as a complex three-tier cosmology. Three-tier cosmos, the upper world, a realm of order, stability, and light, inhabited by the sun, moon, and sky deities. The this world, Earth, a flat circular island floating on a vast primeval ocean. This is where humans, and then it's just one ocean for real, but it just names all this shit one together. This is where humans, plants, and animals live balanced between. You see what I'm talking about? Live balanced between the upper and lower forces. The beneath world, a chaotic, watery realm of darkness and fertility associated with underworld water spirits and the underworld master and underwater panthers and horned serpents. What the fuck are you talking about? Watch how I bust this bitch ass. Watch this. The Mississippi people, earth was not just dirt. Earth was the source of life because of the intensive corn maze farmers in the earth is directly tied to the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Planting seeds into the soil was sacred, interacting with the womb of Mother Earth. The massive flat top mounds they built in like Monk Mound. Hold up, I gotta bust his ass. Built like Monk Mound were literary extensions of the earth. They were sacred platforms that connected to the physical ground. This world was the heaven, and it had something to do. And it had something to do with goddamn. They was building on top of grids too for free energy. Know that. It was free energy. Know that. To the heavens upper world, building them by hand, basket by basket, was an act of common devotion to the land and the cosmos. But what are you talking about by this underground shit? This is a very accurate way of how to observe the physical world for the Mississippi. Here it is right here. Okay, boom. The horizontal line was the boundary where the different worlds met. So what are you talking about underwater, all that shit you talking about? When the sun, moon, stars, and constellations sink below the western horizon, when it sank below the horizon, they were seen as literally entering the watery underworld. This wasn't just abstract mythology, it was based on direct observation of the environment. The sun goes out of your view, and when it goes out of your view, the further it goes out, it looks like it's disappearing under the horizon line. And when something disappears below the horizon, the ancients considered it to be the underworld. So it's three tiers to the cosmology. That's what the ancients talking about. So I'm talking about what the ancients talking about. I ain't talking about nothing no northern talking about, because the bitch ain't got no God in it. The sun journey. The sun is ultimately a symbol of the upper world, dipped below the horizon into the darkness every night, traveling through the underworld. So it's traveling through the water. So you think the sun is really traveling through the water to come back over this bitch? Because you said underworld like underworld moccasins and going through the water. See, our ancestors ain't thought no shit like that. Our ancestors ain't think the sun dipped into the water and travels back up under us in the water, then rises back up in the east, up out of the water. Bitch, shut the fuck up, bitch. Traveling through the underworld before being reborn in the east. What is traveling through the water? See? The path of souls. They track the Milky Way at specific constellations like Orion, and it approached the western horizon. Descended tradition describe this western horizon, especially where it met a body of water. Anytime you see that water line meet that sky, it's gonna be a flat line, flat water, because water is level. Water is the level. I don't give a fuck how much is wave and rock. If it be still, it's gonna level out. As a literal portal, a gateway where the souls of the dead jump from the earth. Huh? Y'all better tighten up, man. Jump from the earth world into the afterlife. So you are completely right. What we call it disappearing under the horizon, they did call it the underworld. When they disappear up under the horizontal line that the water makes when the water meets the sky in your view. And when the sun does that, the sun shows that line is flat. And it disappears out up under the horizon. That's the underworld, and it is resurrected the next day. This is how we view the horizon. I showed you they can't even see the horizon in the north. Man, y'all better tighten the fuck up, man. I wonder what's on the backside of them mountains and shit they live in. This is the horizon, man. Look how beautiful this shit is. Look how beautiful this shit is, man. Y'all tripping. But anyway, look at the water line. Where the sky, the sun ain't got to be there, see? Where the sky meet the water. And from the angle you're looking at now, it look like the water going uphill, but you know it's not. You know it's not. And this is my final analysis. This Oriental is throwing an alley-oop of Mother Earth, then balled it up and throwing this nigga alley-oop to slam dunk the earth. They win. Because you following that alley-oop and you following that water ball, thinking the earth is in the middle of nowhere, spinning and spinning as a water ball. And the landmass is poked out to the side, and you live on the side of this motherfucker, standing sideways on this bitch like an ant. It's crazy. The sun travel over the earth and it don't get the north no shine. But you got the earth, you got the north shining like a motherfucker. These bitches so confident now, man, they just sitting back. That man said they up at the North Pole and South. They up at the North Pole just chilling, drinking vodka, just chilling like a motherfucker. Laugh. He said something about global warming, everybody in that bitch just started laughing. But they been running these bitch ass scripts on your ass for so long till it's a goddamn shame, man. Mother Earth is flat, bro. Mother Earth is, we live at surface level, man. That's sea level. And then you got below sea level. You got above sea level. And water can exist above sea level, like in a lake in a mountain, a lake on a mountain, a water basin in them mountains. Now that they created this globe and meridians and all kind of shit to solidify themselves as being the light of the world, took the primordial disk and laid it on the motherfucking ground and killed the motherfucker. Killed God, man, and deemed God to be on the ground forever. As a goddamn magnetic pole. This is the craziest shit I ever heard in my life. This shit crazy. But I gotta goddamn put my shit up here before I go. Cause I am the North Pole. I'm the North Pole and I'm speaking for the sun. I'm speaking for the black sun. To all my people, man, seek your divinity. Face life. If existence and life come through the sun, why not go face to face for yourself? And you'll see what I'm talking about. You can see the natural, physical, black primordial disk that bring existence to this world. And if you think you're going to the heavens, you're going back through that portal of existence. And they done deemed it to the ground forever as a black rock that's dead. A dead magnetic ass rock that we can never find. They call it dead because they said it ain't had no life in it until the light comes from it. But the light comes from it, but they call it the black, this dead. But it's the balance of life and death. It's the portal. Go to life and go to death through this portal, through the sun. Y'all will get it one day, man. Until then, man, y'all spin on. You globe tarts, you globe trotters, you spin on. But Mother Earth is not a fucking ball of water. Water is gonna seek containment of rising levels all the time. So you keep on going up your water hills and taking your boats up the water hills and turning sideways on upward parallels on water and turning left and all this spinning shit and all this bullshit. All this shit ain't never sophistication, bro. With that being said, I'm out this bitch. I had to get that off my chest. No, the truth don't need no help, but evidently it do. It ain't gonna bend, break, nor fold. Let nature take its course, man. Come back to nature, man. These people have demonized nature, the sun, crops, anything to do with agriculture became pagan in this world. And now your world is being lit up by a torch on top of a fucking goat head. Lucifer, the light bearer, in secrecy, as y'all spin into wonderland, wondering and wondering. Amen. Yeah, that back this. Amen. Touch and agree. I said, boom. You Jewish. What are you doing? You Jewish. Okay, what that mean? That mean you something like a Jew? You something like a jewel of God? You something like a jewel of God? You ishy? What's your ethnicity? That's your religion. What's your ethnicity? Oh, you already gone. I wish I would have caught you and I would like to have a conversation with you. But I said, damn.